Margaret, I'm really super fascinated with your methodology here. I think you've made some really advanced decisions, and I want to address that. But first, I want to say thank you so much for this very detailed description of your experience with the project. I think this is just fantastic. There's so much here that is showing me how you're learning that I would like to address this. But please remember to keep on, every time you submit an assignment or a project, I think it's a great idea to give your experience with that project. I think it really helps us, I should say, help we instructors um, kind of ascertain your learning process. And in this case, I think this is telling me a lot about the way you're learning. So I want to address a couple of things here. I get your approach, the non-glitzy. So you want to stay away from that, ultra processed, high vibrant, saturated images of white sandy beaches with palm trees. I get that. If you want to stay away from that, I get that. It's expected, but that's great if you want to break away from that. And I think you successfully did so. Um, but the local culture, I get that with the colors. I get that. I totally get the posture you're shooting for, and I think it's very successful. Buy one get one package at couples. Yeah, the couples are reinforced with the two coffee cups instead of one. I think that was an interesting choice as well. Incorporate an image of isolated module. I think you said I spent many hours. Yeah, uh, the image search process for students is quite time consuming. There's no way around it. Unfortunately, finding a perfect image takes time. I just want to mention that once you do get in your professional career, if you're working for a studio or an agency, you have you have greater access to many more resources. So the image search process isn't quite as daunting in a professional setting than it is in a student setting. Just want to make sure that you're aware of that. Water in the background is quite great. I want to talk about that water as well. Strong use of diagonals. See, you're thinking about all sorts of really great things here. This is important. This is important. The strong use of diagonals. That's a design element that you're going to be asked in your final project part two. You're going to be asked to talk about some of the elements and principles you've used. So it's great that you're thinking about diagonals and how they affect the actual layout itself. That's fantastic. Colors is also great. Talking about colors. You did something really smart, and you're actually sampling color out of the background image to use in your type. That's smart, and that's advanced too. So good job. Which came directly from the yellow, the purple logo. Not sure about that logo. I want to talk about that as well. All right, so at that point, let's go ahead and just jump right over to the ad and let's take a look. So the first thing we see that I think is the most obvious is this big white bar here at the side of the ad. You want to definitely make sure there's probably a stray point over here or something over here that the JPEG is picking up and thinking that that's part of the composition. So make sure that you crop that accordingly. Okay. It's a really super interesting ad, and I think one of the things that we can do, and I'm going to zoom in here. Now you see, look how crisp and clear this is right here. Okay, so like the coffee cup as compared to the water, I think the water is problematic because it's so, let me see, it's not really good quality. It's really pixelated. What you could do here, and I think what would be really easy to do, is select, you know how to do it now. You know how to mask, right? So what we could do here is we could actually replace the water, select that water out, and replace it with a different, more high quality image of water. Think about that and see, you might want to try that and see if that works. Okay, this is all lesson. I think right now the ad itself is just a little bit out of balance. And the reason I say that is because everything is pushed to the right side of the composition. Okay, so we have the weight of this park bench along with everything being right aligned and the logo right aligned. So I think what we would do here in this case is just go ahead and take this right aligned subhead and go ahead and just move it right over there and left align it. Okay, then what you can do is move the body copy over right there. Might entail having to pull these coffee cups over here just a little bit. But think about that. Now, see how it works once you move the subhead over here. It could rebalance to the point where you don't have to move this. But right now, I'm anticipating moving the headline and the body copy, placing it right here, which would likely encroach on the cups, which means you might have to move those over a little bit, which is perfectly fine, right? Now, as far as the logo goes, my only recommendation for the logo is it's a little bit difficult to see, especially this area right here through the shadows. You might consider using a different logo, and I think the one I would recommend is the purple logo, this one right here. It's going to add a little visual weight to that area, but that's okay because you want to reinforce branding. Now, one other thing that you could do is this, is you could place left align the subhead, leave the text over here, place the logo on the left-hand side, and place the contact information on the right. That will redistribute the weight quite effectively as well. So think about that. So those are my recommendations. Outstanding start. Really, really good job. Love the concept. Love the description of how your methodology, etc. So really, really good job there. So let's go ahead and go ahead and make those changes. I'd like to see those changes reflected in your final submission coming up here in week 7, actually. So that's coming up quite quickly. If you want to run it by me after making those changes and before you submit your final, that's great. I'll be glad to make further comments. Just go ahead and repost here or in the general questions, whatever you want to get it to me. I'll make additional comments before your final submission, I guess is what I'm saying. Okay, great start. Thank you very much. If you have any questions at all, please let me know. Thank you.